Hello everyone. In the previous video, we explored the near-death experiences of 4 prominent doctors who shared their insights using their scientific perspectives. In today's video, we will delve into whether these are differences in near-death experiences across various cultures and countries all around the world. We hope this video will provide you with a broader understanding of near-death experiences. Does Asia and Europe have similar death experiences? The weather at Tel Aviv's beach, Israel, in the summer remained as usual. Sunny skies, humid air, surfers practiced as the tide went down. Suddenly, an unusually high wave struck, trapping 18-year-old girl Laor behind the wave breaker. She consumed a large amount of seawater and lost consciousness. 26 years later, Laor recounted her survival story in the Israel newspaper Israel Hayom. I began to see my entire life unfolding before me like a movie. Birth, kindergarten, school. When I saw my own funeral, I heard a loud noise and felt myself slowly leaving my body. From above, I watched my body sinking into the water, but I no longer felt any pain. Then I entered a very serene tunnel. A white light guided me down an unusual bright path. I saw 2 figures dressed in white who asked me for my name and why I was here. Laor remembered being very frightened at that moment. They told me about the good and bad things I had done in my life. When I realized I was being judged, I began to scream in horror that I wasn't ready to die and that they had to let me live. I persuaded them that I needed to have children, that my inclination was to become a mother, and I still had a future ahead. They stared at me until one of them struck a deal. And the condition for my return was that I had to dedicate the rest of my life to the Almighty. I agreed immediately and asked them how I could return. They said I would witness a miracle. Right after that, Laor regained consciousness. A diver had pulled her up to the surface near the breakwater. The story of Laor's near-death experience in Israel is very similar to the experience of a witness, Julia Nicholson, in the United States. In the research collection Le Bon Passage by Christophe Perez, France, it's noted. What puzzles scientists is that near-death experiences have universal elements, meaning they include many similar factors, regardless of culture, gender, age, religion, or beliefs. Studies conducted on different continents and in various religious and cultural contexts all show that near-death experiences share many common elements. Dr. Raymond Moody explains on the Medipart website, France, "I've been to China, India, Japan, Russia, Africa, North America, and South America, and everywhere people tell me fundamentally the same things. The stories only differ in religious imagery. They borrow imagery from their religious traditions to explain what they've been through, but typically they explain, I have to use the terminology of my tradition because those are the words I know." He points out that many people who do not follow any religion can still have near-death experiences. He emphasizes, nevertheless, they believe in an afterlife and a higher power. This changes their lives significantly. They assert that the most important thing we can do is learn to love one another. Christophe Perez concludes similarly, religious beliefs do not play a role in near-death experiences. A person who follows no religion can have an experience similar to a Catholic, even though they may explain events differently depending on their culture or religious beliefs. The most common detail in the story shared is the experience of a bright light, which they often explain as Jesus Christ for Catholics, Buddha for Buddhists, angels for Jewish believers, or light beings for those with no religious affiliation. Near-death experiences can indeed vary significantly across different cultures. Some studies have shown that the stories of these experiences differ notably between Western countries and other cultural backgrounds. For example, one of the most cited cases occurred in India. In 1958, a 12-year-old boy named Munachanipa fell from a tree in the morning and lost consciousness. His family was informed that he had died. Around 3 p.m., he regained consciousness and recounted his journey to the realm of the dead, known as Yamalaka or Yamapatna. There, he claimed that Yama, the deity of death in Hinduism and Buddhism, had decided to send him back to the world of the living. In Western accounts, the bright light is often associated with a significant figure like God or Buddha, or linked to feelings of love. In contrast, some countries like Japan The light is not personalized and is unrelated to emotions. Researcher Keith Augustine, USA, noted that near-death experiences in China and Chile are quite different from those in the West. He explained that these experiences are influenced by individuals' expectations about death and the afterlife, which are often closely related to culture and especially religion. So, the way people describe and interpret near-death experiences can be strongly influenced by their cultural and religious backgrounds. Similar near-death experiences across cultures. Some studies in Iran and Israel have concluded that the narratives of near-death experiences are remarkably similar across different cultures. Some scientists argue that the apparent variations are superficial and represent alternative interpretations of the same phenomenon. Researchers John Valenti, Mahendra Perera, and Karupia Jagadahijan from Australia have found that while there are some distinct elements in near-death experience stories from various cultures, there are still many commonalities. "12 fundamental features of a near-death experience." The near-death experiences described in Le Bon Passage collection are divided into several common categories. The most common and clear type of near-death experience, as established by Dr. Raymond Moody, includes the following 12 characteristics. Number 1. Witnesses often believe that ordinary language cannot fully convey the experience they've had. Number 2. At the outset, witnesses typically feel peaceful and free from physical pain. Number 3. Witnesses become conscious that they have died. Number 4. Occasionally, witnesses report hearing noises or sounds, which are sometimes described as buzzing. Number 5. Witnesses feel separated from their physical bodies and may even observe their resuscitation process from above. Number 6. They often describe being drawn into a dark space, which may be described as a tunnel or sometimes a valley. Number 7. At the end of the tunnel, witnesses enter a stream of light. Here they perceive unconditional love and an understanding of the meaning of existence. Number 8. In the light, some people encounter deceased loved ones or experience beautiful landscapes, or they may hear soothing music. Number 9. Witnesses have a panoramic review of their past, as if watching a life movie. Number 10. They sense that there is a border or limit, and crossing it means they can't return. Number 11. Witnesses eventually return to their physical bodies. Number 12. Upon awakening, they may express disappointment at having been revived and leaving the beautiful or dreamlike realm.